Hey everybody, this is Fortune Kid and welcome back to part 3 in my tutorial series on how to play the Weiss Schwarz collectible card game. In the last video we talked about the different play areas on the mat, how to construct your deck, just very basic what's in your deck, and then how to determine a first player and taking your mulligan. So now we've determined that this player that has the Super Mario sleeves on their cards is going to be the first player, and they are ready to begin the game. So what do you do on your turn? Well, what you do on your turn is very straightforward. It is spelled out right here on the playmat. So you look right here. Those are the different phases of a player's turn, and I'll zoom in so that you can see what the different phases of the player's turn are. You can see the first phase is the stand phase, or the stand-up phase. The second phase is the draw phase. Then you have the clock phase, the main phase, the climax phase, the battle or the attack phase, and then the end phase. And I'll go through each one of those. But those are the different phases that you're going to go through on your turn. So the first thing is the stand-up phase. The stand-up phase is if you had any resting characters, you would stand those characters. Since this is the beginning of a new game, neither player has any resting characters. So the next phase is the draw phase. So this player, who is playing Nisekoi, is going to draw a card off the top of their deck and add it to their hand. Now they're into the clock phase. And the clock phase is you can take a card from your hand and put it into your clock. Now when you do that, you have to remember you are essentially giving yourself a damage, because cards in your clock are like damage points against you. But the benefit of doing that is you get to draw 2 additional cards. Now the Nisekoi player has this level 3 Shitogi, which they are not going to be able to play for a while. So they decide that they're going to clock this card. So they put that card in their clock area, and then they draw 2 cards. Okay? So now the Nisekoi player has 7 cards in their hand and they're ready to play some characters. Now there's one important rule to keep in mind. When you are the first player on the first turn, you can only attack with 1 character. That is the only time that that rule applies. So the Nisekoi player knows that, and even though they have several level 0 cards that they could potentially play, they are not going to fill their field because they're not going to be able to attack with all those cards. And if they have those characters out on the field, then the other player potentially could kill those characters on their turn. So the Nisekoi player, knowing that, is going to play just this Ruri card to start the game. And this Ruri card is very nice. It's a 2500 power, but the ability is on your opponent's turn, this card gains plus 1000. So they're going to go ahead and play this Ruri card right in the middle. Then they also have this Kosaki card, and this Kosaki card is 1000 power, but they really don't care about that because the Kosaki card is what is known as an assist card. And what it says is all the characters in front of this card gain plus 500 power. So they're going to play the Kosaki card on the backstage. Okay? So right now the Nisekoi player has finished their main phase. So on your main phase you can play characters, you can play events, you can move characters around, and you can use activated abilities. So they've done everything that they want to do. Now they're moving into their climax phase. Do they want to play a climax card? The Nisekoi player does not have any climax cards in hand, and they probably would not want to play one at this point. So the Nisekoi player is done playing cards. Now they're into the attack phase. So the only character that they have that can do any attacking is this Ruri card. So they're going to go ahead and declare that the Ruri card is attacking. Now when you declare an attack, you have to declare what type of an attack you are making. And there are 3 types of attacks. There are frontal attacks, side attacks, and direct attacks. In this case, it's very straightforward. When there is no character opposing your character, it's always going to be a direct attack. So in this case, it's a direct attack, and on the playmat it says, if you are performing a direct attack, it is plus 1 soul. So you look at the soul points on this Ruri card, and again, the soul is that little tiny fleur-de-lis symbol, which is right next to the 2500, and you can see that this Ruri card is 1 soul. So the Ruri card is performing a direct attack. It is a 1 soul character. Because it's a direct attack, it's plus 1, so it's 2 soul. Then the next thing you do on your attack step is on your attack phase, after you've declared what type of an attack it is, this is a direct attack, we know it's going to be for 2 soul, now is the trigger step. And for the trigger step, all you need to do is reveal the top card of your deck. And you don't care about anything else on that card other than, is there a fleur-de-lis symbol in the corner? In this case, there is. So the Nisekoi player on their trigger step has revealed 1 trigger. So it's going to be the 1 damage for the Ruri card, plus 1 because it's a direct attack, plus another 1 for the trigger. So this is going to be 3 damage against this player here. So this player reveals 1, 2, 3 cards off the top of their deck. Now you see the 3rd card that this player revealed is a climax card. When you are taking damage and you reveal a climax card, that damage is what is called canceled. What you do is you take all of those cards that would have become damage because the climax card canceled the damage, and those cards, instead of going in your clock, will now go into your discard pile. So this player who's playing Madoka Magica has canceled all of that damage, and these cards are going to go into their discard pile. Let's pretend that as they were revealing the damage, they revealed that Madoka card first, and then they revealed the climax card. Remember, it was going to be 3 damage. As soon as you reveal a climax card, you stop taking damage, and that damage is immediately considered canceled, and all those cards go into your discard pile. So the Nisekoi player takes this card, which was their trigger card, and this card now becomes stock. So this card goes face down in the Nisekoi player's stock area. So they now have 1 card in stock. Okay, now at this point, the Madoka player could perform a counterattack. Some cards are counterattack cards. They're also known as backup cards. And it is a way of boosting a character that you have that is under attack. In this case, there is no character on the Madoka player's side. Their 2 characters are not battling, so the counterattack step is skipped. Then we go to the damage step, which we already revealed. The Madoka player was going to take 3 damage and they canceled it. And then lastly is the encore step, which is where if there are any characters that are reversed, there is a way to encore them or bring them back from the discard pile. And in this case, there are no reversed characters, so that step is skipped. And the Nisekoi player is going to end their turn. So their turn has ended. Now the turn shifts over to the Madoka Magica player. So remember, the first thing that you do on your turn is you draw a card. So the Madoka player has these cards in hand: a level 0 Homura, a level 0 Sayaka, a couple of level 1s, a level 0 Mami, and a level 2 Madoka. They know they're not going to be able to play that level 2 Madoka for a while, so they decide to clock this. So now they've gone into their clock phase, they clock the Madoka card, and they're going to draw 2 cards as part of the clocking. Okay, now remember, this Ruri card gains plus 1,000 during the opponent's turn. So this card is 3,500, plus it's getting a 500 boost from this Kosaki card, so it is at 4,000 power. So the Madoka player, knowing that, has to be careful with what characters they put out, because that is quite a bit of power. So what they're going to do is they are going to play this Sayaka card in the middle, which is 3,000 power. They're going to play this Homura over here, which the ability is, if you have another character with Madoka in its name, this card gets plus 1,500. Right now, the Madoka player does not have a Madoka character on the field. They're going to play this Koyosuke card, which the ability on that one is, when this card attacks, you may look at the top card of your deck and either keep it on the top or put it on the bottom of your deck. And then they're going to play this Mami card in support. This Mami card is a 500 assist. It gives 500 power to the characters in front of this card. And then you can also rest this card to give a character with Madoka in its name plus 500 power until the end of the turn. Okay, so that is, the Madoka player has now finished their main phase. They are not going to play another character there. They're now moving into their climax phase. They are not going to play a climax card. They don't have one in hand, but they're not going to play one right now. And now they're moving into their attack phase. So you can see this Homura card can perform a direct attack because there's no character on the other side. This Koyosuke card can also perform a direct attack. There's no character on the other side. The Sayaka card cannot perform a direct attack because there is the Ruri card on the other side. And the Sayaka card right now happens to be at 3,500 power. It's at 3,000 base power, and it's getting a 500 assist from the Mami card. So 3,500 is not going to be enough to beat the 4,000 on the Ruri card. But the Madoka player has another option. They're going to attack with their Sayaka card, but they cannot do a direct attack. And they're not going to do a frontal attack because they do not want the two characters to battle. So instead what they're going to do is they're going to perform what's called a side attack. When you perform a side attack, first of all, you rest your character to indicate that you are attacking with that character, and you declare that that character is performing a side attack. When you perform a side attack, you are kind of skirting around the character that is opposite that character to directly attack your opponent. And when you do that, you look at the soul value on this card, on the attacking card, which this Sayaka card is 1 soul, and then you subtract the level of the character opposite it. This Ruri card is level 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. So this is going to be an attack for 1 damage. Now the Madoka player is going to do the trigger step for the Sayaka attack. So they flip over the top card, and they did reveal a trigger. So you can see there's the trigger symbol in the corner. So it is 1 for the Sayaka card, plus 1 for the trigger, so this is going to be 2 damage. The Nisekoi player reveals 2 cards. The second card they revealed is a climax card. They canceled that damage. These cards do not go into the clock, they will go into the discard pile. This card, which was the trigger card for the Madoka player, will go into their stock. Now the Madoka player will attack with this Homura card. The Homura card is a 1 soul character. It is a direct attack, so it's plus 1, so that's 2, plus the trigger. And they revealed a double trigger. You can see on this climax card, there is a double trigger in the corner. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be 4 damage against the Nisekoi player. The Nisekoi player reveals 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they just took 4 damage. These cards go into their clock. They are now at 5 damage in their clock. This card becomes stock. And the Madoka player still has 1 more attack. They have their Koyosuke card. The Koyosuke card's ability is when this card attacks, you may look at the top card of your deck and decide if you're going to leave it there or put it on the bottom of your deck. In this case, the Madoka player is going to leave this card there. What they're looking for in that case is they're looking for a climax card because that's a way to prevent a climax card from going into your stock. But since it's not, the Koyosuke player is just going to leave it there. So this is a direct attack. The Koyosuke card is 1 soul, plus 1 for the direct attack, plus the trigger. There is no trigger, so it's going to be 2 damage. The Nisekoi player reveals 2 cards. This card becomes stock for the Madoka player, and now the Nisekoi player adds these cards to their clock, and now as you can see, they are at 7 damage in their clock. When you hit 7 damage, you choose one of those cards that is in your clock. In this case, the Nisekoi player is going to choose this Kosaki card and put that card in their level area. The other 6 cards that are in their clock will go to their discard pile, and the Nisekoi player is now considered to be at level 1. Now, one important thing to keep in mind is when you are playing cards that are beyond level 0, you have to meet the color requirement in order to play that card. So you can see the Nisekoi player right now, their card that is their level 1 card is a blue card. That means they can play level 1 cards that are blue. Now their deck also happens to be yellow. They have level 1s that are yellow. But until they have yellow in either their level area or in their clock, they cannot play those level 1 or higher yellow cards. So now the Madoka player has ended their turn. There are no reversed characters, so there is no encore step. And now the Nisekoi player is ready to start their turn. When you start your turn, you stand any resting characters, you draw a card. This was the draw step, and now they are going to clock. they are going to want to clock yellow because they're going to want to play these 2 yellow level 1s. So they're going to clock this shitoge, which is yellow, and then they're going to draw 2 cards, and now they're going to move into their main phase. So that was a sample turn, and I hope that this was informative for you and that you enjoyed it. Please leave any comments in the video of things that I didn't explain well or that maybe could have been explained better. Any comments are appreciated. I hope everyone enjoyed this video series, and thank you for watching, everyone. Have a good day.